Swimsuit? Check. Sunscreen? Check. Phone charger? Check. Don't forget to pack the 5-Hour Energy. It fits great in a pocket or carry-on, and the alert feeling will help you arrive ready for anything. Now get 20% off when you use code 5HETRAVEL at 5hourenergy.com. Expires April 30th. One-time use only. Not valid with other discounts. Remember, visit 5hourenergy.com and use code 5HETRAVEL to save 20%.
Hi everyone, I'm Deb Flashenberg. Welcome to Yoga, Birth, Babies, a podcast produced by Prenatal Yoga Center. We will be diving into everything prenatal yoga, birth, and baby related, hoping to inspire, educate, and empower you through your journey into motherhood. Thank you for listening. Hi everyone, I'm Deb Flashenberg. I'm your host for Yoga Birth Babies, and today's podcast was inspired by a glimpse I caught of myself in the mirror as I was running out of the house in the same old yoga clothes with the same old sweater and my hair pulled back in a high messy knot. So it's about fashion and being a parent. So we have fashionista, blogger, and writer and founder of Stroller in the City, Brianne Manz. I tracked her down. She and I did an event, I think it was last fall, about fashion. So why I was there is still a question in my mind. But Brianne is one fashionable lady and a mother of 3. So when I thought, okay, I'm in what I'm calling the mom rut, I thought to reach out to Brianne and have her not just help me, but help anyone else that feels like their sense of fashion and love and desire of dressing yourself well and having fun with clothes might have taken a backseat to being a parent, because it doesn't have to. That's what she's inspired me to think about. So I think you'll enjoy that. Before we listen to that fun conversation, for those in the New York area, please join us on May 15th at 2 o'clock at the Prenatal Yoga Center for our postpartum party. It's about coming together as a community and celebrating the tribe that we have created at Prenatal Yoga Center. So I'll be speaking about creating a home yoga practice after baby. We have Paige Bellenbaum of the Motherhood Center speaking about PMAD, perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, recognizing it and taking the stigma out of it and how to find help and support. And then we have Krista Nader of Kith and Kim talking about finding the right childcare for your needs. So it's going to be a really great time. We have swag bags and food and great speakers. And then we're also, if you're not in the area, don't worry. You can jump onto Instagram and Facebook, and we're going to be running some live feeds of that. And then last bit of business, I just want to give a shout out to all the teacher trainees. We just finished off this spring New York teacher training. We are in the middle, Caprice and I are in the middle of grading tests and watching classes, and these people rocked it out. I am so incredibly proud of them. I'm so incredibly proud of this training. We have 5 coming up from next September through May. And as I was reorganizing, getting a newsletter out about the training, I came across an email that one of my former teacher trainees wrote in. So I want to read it to you. It's from Malia. She wrote, "Prenatal Yoga Center's teacher training program is amazing. I love taking aspects of childbirth education and my desire to help women understand the birthing process and incorporating them into a solid yoga class. I feel more confident teaching pregnant women and the general population after incorporating their thorough understanding of the anatomy of the female body." Thank you, Malia, for writing that in. And I'm so glad that our training program has helped you grow as a prenatal yoga teacher and a teacher of the general population. So thank you for sharing your words. Okay, enough of me. Let's get to the conversation with Brianne. We're going to take a quick break. and we come back, let's chat about fashion.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, Brianne, how are you this morning?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I got my coffee, I got my tea. I'm really excited to chat.
I know, me too. I have the same thing happening over here.
So I was dying to chat with you ever since we did that event together back in September where I realized I was the least fashionable person there was there. I have been having you on my radar forever to talk about what I consider kind of the mom rut of fashion. I know that's your background and you're very stylish, and I feel like I am the opposite.
You are not. You totally are not. You were the cutest ever.
Thanks. But I definitely know that I fall into just grabbing what's clean. And I look back at what I was before kids, and I had a really great wardrobe that I don't even come back to. Mm-hmm. So based on your background, I thought we could dive into just some simple things to help people that might be in that same, I'm going to put in quotes, mom rut, find a little bit more fun in their fashion. But before we get to that, I would love for you just to tell me a little bit about yourself and your fashion background and how you ended up starting Stroller in the Cities. That's a lot I just threw at you.
No, I know. No, it's fine. So I am originally from New York. My parents and we lived about 20 minutes outside the city. So I grew up loving New York City. I wanted to live here. I told my parents on multiple occasions that they needed to sell our home and we needed to live in an apartment. And they thought that I was insane. But I had to find a way to live here. So I went to FIT. And I was like, I'm going to dorm there, and that's how I'm going to get my little, way into New York City. But turns out I lived too close at the time that they wouldn't give me dorming. Oh. So after 2 years, I got my own apartment and with a roommate, of course. And I've been here ever since. And I just immediately started in the fashion world. So having your own apartment and having to pay for that in your junior year of college, I decided I'm going to work full time and I'm going to go to school at night, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I started my career with Laundry by Shelley Siegel. I originally worked at the store, and then I moved my way up to the showroom. And from there, I jumped from showroom to showroom. And I did at Earl Jean, my the last job, like corporate job that I had. I was doing West Coast sales, and someone was like, "Why are you working for Earl? Why don't you just do this on your own?" So I started a showroom, and like literally overnight, I started a showroom. And I came back from California with 3 designers, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is really happening! I'm starting a showroom, and I got to get a space, and I got to figure this out."
So, okay, for me being for having lived in New York for as long as I did, what does it mean exactly to have a showroom?
Okay, so a showroom is basically the middleman between the designer and the stores. So the designers are coming to me from my contacts that I have at the stores, and I'm getting the orders, I'm showing the collections, I'm doing all the trade shows, and I'm getting the orders for the designers, basically. So, my relationships I had obviously with Barney's and Henry Bendel at the time, and Intermix and Shop Bop. So designers wanted to be in our showroom. And of course, I wanted to do it off the beaten path. So I didn't want to do it in the fashion district where everyone was. And I was like, I'm going to get a space in the meatpacking. And I literally walked from block to block, and I found a space in the meatpacking. And we had amazing designers at the time, and we grew, and I moved it over to Soho. And the showroom, which is so amazing, is still going on now. It's called Seamless Showroom. And a girl, my first employee that worked for me, when I was pregnant with Ryder, I had a little bit of a breakdown, and I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. We had a showroom here in LA, Atlanta. It was a lot of traveling, a lot of work. And so I sold it, and I literally had Ryder, I think, like a month later.
Wow, you were busy, and you were really immersed, like from an early age, and from going to FIT, for those that are not in the New York Fashion Institute of Technologies. Yep. It's like the MIT, but it's FIT.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's been a passion of yours for a long time. So even as in high school and as a child, did you kind of have your own flair and desire for fashion?
Oh, yeah. I learned at a really early age that credit cards are not free money. And that's why I always worked. I had such a good work ethic because I loved fashion so much, and I just wanted nice things. And my parents were like, well, you have to pay for them. And I like, honestly, I had like 2 jobs when I was like when I was like 16 years old in high school because I loved shopping.
I have to say, I respect your parents a lot for the fact that they were not like, here's my credit card and go. That they're like, they're, setting the boundaries of, if you want to dress this way, you need to pay for it. I think that's a really great lesson. And I bet you're passing that on to your children.
If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all, listen up. CarShield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that covers more parts than ever. Visit carshield.com/audio to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Get your free quote today at carshield.com/audio. That's carshield.com/audio.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
So then how did that translate into Stroller in the City?
So I was a stay-at-home mom for about a year. And, the blogging world was so new at the time.
So what year was this?
This is we're going on 10 years. So this is 2009.
Okay.
So yeah, Stroller in the City is 10 years old this year. And I just was, I don't know, I was just dabbling on the computer, I guess. And I was like, I'm going to start a blog. There's no cute boy clothes at the time. So my fashion passion was like always still in me. Mm-hmm. And back 10 years ago, there were no cute boy clothes. And I was always on like this crazy mission to find something fun and cool for my son. Like even H&M didn't really, like it just started getting a kids line at the time. And I was like, I'm just going to blog about, 2 sentences, a style blog, some fun things I was finding for, kids at the time. And, it was mainly for my family. It was for my mom friends. It wasn't meant to be anything else. And it wasn't for about 2 to 3 years. It was just like, a stock image and literally 3 sentences.
So then how did that grow?
Someone told me, you need to get on Twitter, you need to get on social media. And I got on Twitter. I started seeing all these other blogs pop up. I was like, wow, there's like a lot here. And I got an invitation to attend a blogger event. And at the time now I was pregnant. So yeah, it was like almost 3 years later. I was pregnant with my second child, Ciela. And I remember saying, yeah, sure, I'll come. Do I need to bring anything? And they were like, nope, just yourself. And I went to this blogging event. There must have been 15 other bloggers there. There were some great sponsors. I left with this huge gift bag and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. What is going on here? And it was Mom Trends at the time. And Nicole Feliciano, she's actually been such an amazing mentor to me through the years. But she would have an event basically once a month with some brands. And that would be like my one night out. And I started, finding out more things about blogging, how you can make money doing this. And then as the time progressed I think my Gemma, when I was having her in the hospital, I was literally having conference calls about sponsored posts. And I was consulting like a fashion app at the time as well. And it just kind of grew organically.
That's great. I like when that happens. So what was going on during that year? You gave up your showroom. You had a month before you had your first child. You were a stay-at-home mom for a year. Now, having worked since you were 16 and really having a strong work ethic and a passion for what you did, what was that like?
Oh my gosh. It was like postpartum depression central. I had a hard time because I just didn't feel my plate. I didn't know, it was a big change. Because it was everything that changed, so it was like, you're not sleeping, you're not used to not sleeping. You have a new baby. I had no job that I was used to going to every day. It was hard. It was like really hard to adjust. And I remember like looking every day at like I live in Battery Park, so it's super kid friendly down here.
Mm-hmm.
And I joined this mom's group, and every week someone would host in their apartment. And it honestly, it took me 6 months. It took me till Ryder was 6 months old to go to the first one, because I just made excuses every week. Like, oh, well, what happens if he has to nurse? Like, I didn't nurse in front of anyone either at the time. Like, everything was so new, and it was like such a change.
Yeah, you did there's a shift, as you and I both know, from being what I call like the maid into motherhood. And you not only did that, but you took, it sounds like, a bit of your identity away by giving up the showroom.
Yeah, I did.
So I'm going to shift a little to fashion. How did you keep your sense of fashion, if you did, during that year? Like, did you find
I don't think I did.
So, okay, because you were so fashionable. So that's what I want to kind of get to the root of. Like, if someone is, how do they get out of the house not feeling so schlumpy?
I mean, I was schlumpy, so I'm not going to say that I wasn't. I had a closet full of gorgeous samples from like all the designers. And like in my head, I was like, I can't wear that. I'm a mom now. And I literally wore like yoga pants and like a thermal. And like, I don't know what I was thinking, because that wasn't me. That wasn't me at all. And it took a while to get like out of that rut and say like, oh no, I can like wear this. And I also think back then things weren't so, nursing friendly. I think now there are so many more choices and brands to like actually, purchase. Like I remember, there weren't like any like cool nursing tops that you could wear. Like everything was like, I don't know, it just wasn't cute looking. I feel like now we have so many more options and it's awesome. But for the first 6 months was really hard for me. I had to like break out of it. I met a bunch of moms. So after that 6 months, I finally went to that person's house and, met a bunch of moms, and then we would meet up weekly. And that was like I think that saved me, really. They would have mom night out, and I'd see these moms all the time, and, found a couple that shared the same, passion for fashion that I did. And like, then I was like, oh, it's okay to show up to the playground not in yoga pants. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, people's, wearing yoga pants is totally fine. But I was like I wouldn't wear nice clothes, because I was like, I'm a mom now, so I don't wear nice clothes. But I don't know where that thought came from,
But that's something that's so common. So my thought on it, and we're going to have in one of our questions for later, is I think the yoga pants, again, I was having a lot of internal thoughts about this conversation, because I wear yoga pants all the time. And part of it is, one, I'm a yoga teacher. So
right. Well,
so I go into the city where other people are in like nice clothes, because I now live in New Jersey, but I go into the city and I'm actually in yoga pants because I need to. It's like I used to bring separate clothes. Like I trot around the city in my normal clothes, and then I change. I'm like, oh, it's such an effort to have to carry my clothes. So now I'm wearing yoga clothes. And then on the other days I work from home, I'm in my yoga outfit, because at some point, usually midday, I have a Peloton bike, so I jump on the bike. So again, it's like, it's the effort of changing. And maybe it's once I became a parent and I'm having to constantly give to someone else, the idea of putting the effort into changing becomes, I'm like, I only want to do it once. And then there's
I also think that like yoga pants are fashionable now, so it's okay. I feel like it's okay. Like, I don't feel like you look frumpy if you're wearing like a cute pair of like Lululemon,
Yeah. Okay. That's good, because I feel that way. I have like literally 8 pairs of black Lululemons. And then when people actually see me in regular clothes, like, wow, you look different.
Right.
But I don't think I'm alone in that. So that's why I'm saying it. So
you're not.
But then there's also like, you're sitting on the edge of the sandbox and you're having dirty, sticky hands touching you and you're pushing a stroller. So what are some ideas to try to stay fashionable when you still have that role of, of not wanting to wear great stuff, but you still have like, you're literally ankle deep in the sandbox?
Right. Well, I think nowadays it's so easy to buy fashionable clothing at like affordable prices. Like, for instance, a really great resource would be, I'd say, H&M. I think they do it so well.
They do,
you can
yeah.
wear like a really cute dress and only pay, let's say, I don't know, $30 for it. And I won't be that mad that it gets messed up in the sandbox. So I feel like, and also as I feel like as my kids get older, my taste and my, the brands that I like go to have changed as well. Like, I feel like it went to like super, like I was at TJ Maxx yoga pants with Ryder. I kind of moved my way up with like H&M. I still wear H&M. I think it's great. But like even now I'm like, oh, I can spend $400 on a dress because they're not going to get there. They're old enough now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not
I
sweating and pushing a double stroller with like grit in your teeth. It's quite
yeah,
as much.
and I feel like your fashion like will evolve. Like as your kids get older, as you change whatever careers or anything, your fashion does evolve like time and time again.
That's helpful because I feel like sometimes it's just is all about the function and not as much about the fashion. Let's go back to something you happened to touch on is about breastfeeding. So if someone's choosing to breastfeed, and I like that you did mention there is some more fashionable stuff. I was so lazy about it. I literally like pull the neck down of my shirts or like wear really low collar and like pull the boob over it. Because pulling up from the bottom, like no one wants to see my whole stomach hanging out. So now there are more options. Like there's some zippers, there's some flaps. What are some suggestions for trying to keep stylish while breastfeeding?
Well, I say get okay. So there's a couple of options. I love Hatch Collection. I think they make like amazing pieces for moms that you can wear during your pregnancy, but also after your pregnancy. I was actually just in there recently and I was on a panel and someone was wearing this like gorgeous, like cashmere jumpsuit. It was stunning. I'm not pregnant, nor am I getting pregnant ever. I think I'm done in that department, but I bought it, even though it was maternity, because it was so cute. But I think like Shop Buru, Buru, is another amazing resource. She buys clothes that are not necessarily maternity, but they're all like they're nursing friendly. So like she might, pick up let's say whatever, a DVF like wrap dress, but you can still nurse in it as well. And not everything's high end, but she really pays attention to the nursing mom, which I love. And I feel like there's so many more resources like that out there. So just like, getting like wrap tops or like lower neck V-neck tops as opposed to, like your white t-shirt that you're pulling down at the neck.
It wasn't even my white t-shirt, it was all my shirts. I found the other day I was going through a little bit of a spring cleaning, and granted, my kids are now 5 and 7, so it's been a while since I've breastfeeding. I found one shirt like stuck way in the back, and I pulled it out, and you could see the neck was just torn. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this shirt. So I'm glad there are some more options. And that's what, especially if someone is breastfeeding in public, they want to be able to feed their child, but not feel like they're making a spectacle of themselves with like their shirt halfway up or the shirt pulling down. So I'm glad there are more options.
Even like fashionable, wraps that you can just like throw over. Remember that like one maternity, like not maternity, but like a nursing cover. It was like horrible colors, horrible prints. And if you saw someone like on a park bench with it, like you obviously knew that they were nursing because like the print just like, and the colors just stood out to you.
Yeah. It's like, hi, feel like I'm a new mom. This is
I just feel like there's so many more other options that you can do now. You can wrap like a little swaddle around your neck and like not make it so like in your face. I'm nursing on a park bench.
So when did you get the hang of it outside of the house at some point? And then is that what you did for because you have 3. So what did you do by the final one?
Oh, I didn't care at that point. I wasn't even covering. I was like, okay. And with each child, I obviously got more comfortable nursing out in public. With Ryder, I think it was the hardest. I don't know why, but it was just harder for me to do it. When I had my second, I also had now a toddler running around. So there really wasn't a choice. So I had to just do it and go with it. So I feel like with each kid, I just got more and more comfortable. And I think about it now and I'm like, why did I even think like that? But I guess, you're a new mom. You don't really know.
I think that's really common. I remember the first time that my husband and I like ventured out of the house knowing it would be a feed time. I still remember it. We went to Columbus Circle. It was Whole Foods. And it was such an ordeal for us because I was so used to like having the boppy and having the, everything set up. And I felt this pressure. I'm like, here I am. Are people going to see me breastfeeding? So I do think as a new parent, it can be overwhelming. You're just trying to get your legs under you and keep the child alive. And by the second, I'm guessing by the third, because I only have two, it's just now you're in the swing of it and you lose kind of the preciousness of like, oh, it's breastfeeding time. Like now it's like survival.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's true.
So I kind of want to go back a little bit more to the activewear ensemble because I know that I feel very vindicated that we're getting some permission to wear that.
Oh my God. Yes.
But do you have any kind of go-to pieces that can disguise that it's just common activewear? Like, do you have a favorite wrap or sweater? Like, how can you, because again, I'm always in activewear yoga clothes. And during the winter, I have these really fun boots I like that I throw it on. I feel a little classier. But do you have any suggestions for if you're always in activewear, how to zhuzh it up a little?
Okay, so I think Lululemon, I think they do a great job. Therese leggings, I think they're so fashionable. I wear them just to wear them sometimes, even if I'm not working out. They just have like some fun little, prints on them. And you know who else I think does a really great job, and it doesn't look like you're wearing like sweats, is Free People.
Oh, yeah.
They have a great, great, great selection. And even like just like a cute little zip and I don't think it looks like that you're just going to work out anymore. I think that you can be fashionable and still wear workout clothes. I think it goes hand in hand now.
That's important. Yeah. I like that idea. You can throw a cute little hoodie on. All right. I'm going to look those up. I'm going to write that down.
Like a cute little scarf. And even like you said, boots. Like I've done, now that the weather's getting nicer, I won't. But during the winter months, I had these like motorcycle boots that I would wear with my leggings. And then like you can even do like a leather jacket over it. And I think that makes like a really fun, outfit.
What was the first thing that was there something that kind of smacked you in the face of like, wow, I got to get out of this rut. I'm wearing flannels and leggings all the time. Was it just connecting with other parents that got you out of it?
It was. And it was going out with them saying like, oh, I have to get something, to wear. We're going out for drinks. And then also, it was also the blog too at that point, because as the blog started getting more and more lifestyle and personal, I was taking more and more photos, and I was like, I can't wear the same thing, because it was easy to just wear the same thing. If I'm going to a mom drink thing, and then if I'm going out to dinner with my husband, I can wear the same thing. That's fine. But then when I started taking photos and I'm like, oh, I can't really like post the same outfit or like the events. So I feel like that started giving me a little bit of motivation.
And then what about that? I'm trying to think of the nicest way to say it. There's a transition of one's body after giving birth. And I never want to put pressure on get back to anything, because, who knows what getting back to the body means. But there's a point where your maybe pre-pregnancy clothes don't fit, and you had some pretty high fashion stuff that I'm guessing, and your maternity stuff doesn't quite fit. Do you have any suggestions for that? Finding this or accepting or working with what's the reality of right after baby?
Yeah, I think you have your in-between clothes. And a friend of mine was just talking about this. So her youngest is 8 now. And we were just talking about cleaning out our closets. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had all these things in there. She's like, yeah. She's like, you have like your maternity clothing, then you have your after maternity clothing, and then you have your in-between clothing. And then when you realize like, okay, I'm not having any more kids, like you have a whole new wardrobe, and you kind of don't feel guilty about spending the money on yourself. And I feel like I'm getting to that point right now. Like I would always beeline for the kids fashion, like the kids department, whenever I'm like shopping somewhere. And I found that like the last couple of months, I'm like, no, they don't need that. I can get something nice for myself now, because I kind of feel like this is my wardrobe going forward now. Like I know it's just not going to change.
Yeah,
but
you're done.
You're
done.
I'm
done.
3. Yeah. I think that I think you will have a different wardrobe for each stage of your life in motherhood.
That can get pricey. So do you have any hacks for that? Just kind of go for like back to H&M or?
Yeah, back to H&M. And you know what else has been an amazing, I just joined and I'm so obsessed, and this is not sponsored or anything like that, but I just signed on to Rent the Runway and I did the unlimited membership. And so you basically get 4 pieces, as much time as you want. And then you can just keep swapping that out. And I think it's like only $100 a month, and it is amazing. And it also gives you the satisfaction of like shopping like online. Cause I know there's many of us, like we shop online, we put things in our cart, we never check out. Now you just go through their website and like, I heart all my favorites, and I feel like it's like good, my shopping therapy, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm not spending as much money by using this option.
I like that because I find between the kids and work, I rarely actually go into a store, and I end up shopping pretty much everything online. So I like that option. Do you have any other online options that you like?
I mean, Zara. I think Zara does it really well.
Yes, I got some of their cute stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do it so well. You can find, let's see what else. I mean, you can also shop on like a Poshmark, which has, it's like used clothing, but it's nice used clothing, and for half the price. And I think that they have like an amazing selection if you're really like looking for, something. What else is a good one? That's like inexpensive, I'd say.
I find all my shopping money now goes to my kids. Like the other day, my husband and I took our kids to get some spring shoes and sandals. And the amount that we spent for 4 pairs of shoes, 2 per kid, floored me. And then I look at my shoes, I'm like, I haven't bought myself new shoes in like a year. Yeah. So I went online. Of course I went online because when would I get into a shoe store for me? And I got myself something, but I find that now it's so kid focused and I rarely honor my needs that way.
Oh, totally. I mean, it definitely is, but I do feel that like it'll start to shift at one point. You'll start to shift. Like I love.
I'm waiting for that.
It is. It's going to happen because I feel like it just recently happened for me. Like I still am. Like I'm obsessed with like even kids fashion. I love dressing my kids. I love shopping for them and getting new outfits. But there's only like so much that they can wear before they start like growing out of it, I feel. Mm-hmm. And I think I've cut back a little bit shopping for them like the last 6 months, I'd say, and started saying like, oh, I really want that dress because I know that I can wear this dress for the next like 6 years, and their top that I just got, they're probably going to grow out of it in like, the next 6 weeks. You never know. They're like always, I'm constantly like, giving away their clothing to like our friends and family because they're just outgrowing it so much.
Do you find, this is a little bit off topic, but do you find that your oldest is 10, is that correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Do you find he still wears what you get him? Or does he have his own?
They all do. They all do, but they all have their own opinion. Like, it's a battle with jeans for all 3 of them. Nobody likes jeans. I force my older one to wear jeans once in a while, like if we're going somewhere nice, because sweatpants you can't really get away with like sweatpants looking a little dressy. I mean, there are new ones, Zara makes a really great pair of sweats for boys, but sometimes I just want him to wear jeans, whereas the girls can just like throw on a dress and be dressy. You know what I'm saying? So there is pushback a little bit with the kids because they do have their own style now, and I kind of just like let it go.
That's good. I resisted it. Like my son, I had him wearing what I liked pretty much until this year. And then like he was in jeans and like I kind of a little bit more of a bit of the grungy like look. Like he was wearing jeans and like cute t-shirts with long sleeves underneath. And now some of his friends are into like the fashionably looking sweatpants. And I resisted. I finally caved because that's what he really wanted. And I'm like, it's not my body. He has to dress his body. But yeah, I was getting a little too attached to what they were wearing. And it was hard to let go.
Oh, I was the same way. Like my middle one now, so I have 1 boy, 2 girls, and my daughter, she was always like the girly girl, like wearing like all the dresses every day. And now she's like super sporty. She loves to like wear it. She was like happy in leggings and a t-shirt. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't. You have like so many nice things in your drawer. But then I have my youngest who's like all about wearing dresses every single day. So I still have her to dress up, but they change once in a while. And you just have to like let it go and like let them do what they, their style and like what they want. Like even my son came home with, he wears a uniform only shirt to school. So he can wear whatever pants he wants. And usually they're sweatpants, but he started like styling the uniform shirt. And I found it so funny. And I was like, all right, he's just going to go with it. He was like, I only want the t-shirt shirts so he can wear like a cool shirt underneath it. So it would come through on the sleeves. And that was totally his idea. And I was like, okay, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, it definitely was kind of stepping away because it was fun to dress him in the beginning. And now I'm like, okay, you're your own person. And I want you to be your own person, which means I have to let go. So before we take a break, is there anything else that you think would be important for a new parent to take in consideration to still find their own personal sense of fashion and flair?
Yeah, I think, your body is going to change. Obviously, your lifestyle is going to change. So I feel like be easy on yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I think if you make a date night, every couple of weeks with your husband or even just like a girls' night, I feel like you'll ease your way back into your personal style, not mom style. I feel like, So I feel like just go with it and wear what you like.
I like it. That sounds good. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want a tip or piece of advice about anything for a newer expectant parent. You've been there 3 times, so I'm sure you have something. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And we're back. All right. So as a mom of 3, you've certainly experienced motherhood. You've had the ups and downs. What tip or piece of advice would you like to give a new or expectant parent?
Okay. I feel like, I know this is so cliche, but it does go super fast. And I find myself like at tears now looking at my 6-year-old. She just lost her second tooth. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just getting so big. I feel like cherish every moment, cherish the good, the bad, the crying, because it's not going to last that long. And then also just do what works for you. Don't listen to, you're going to a play group and a mom is saying like, oh, well, my child sleeps 8 hours. And you're coming home like, oh my God, my kid doesn't sleep 8 hours. They're up every 4. That's what your baby needs at the moment. And don't compare. Like, I feel like I did that a lot. Like, oh, this one's walking. Why is my kid not walking, but just do what works for you, do what works for your baby, what makes the both of you happy.
I like that, especially the don't compare. I got wrapped into that, and then I literally had to be like, smack myself in the face, like, that is ridiculous. Your child would eventually walk or talk or whatever it is, or sleep.
Exactly.
And then last thing, where can people find what you do? Find your blog, find your website.
So I am at www.strollerinthecity.com, and you can also find me on Instagram at strollerinthecity.
Perfect. Well, I'll make sure all that's in the show notes, along with some of those great suggestions for online stores, and I'll throw some pictures up there. Well, thank you so much. I already feel like I'm going to go to my closet and find something really cute to throw over my Lululemon pants.
Yes.
I'm feeling a little more inspired.
You will. Get a leather jacket.
Then people would be like, who is that? Well, enjoy your afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deb. I'll talk to you soon.
Sure. Bye.
This has been an episode of Yoga Birth Babies, produced by Prenatal Yoga Center. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. I'm Deb Flashenberg. Thanks for listening.
Lucky Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.